I wasn't even supposed to be in India. The Maldives was my destination. A solo vacation, ocean villas, white sands, coconut water, and silence. A reward for surviving my stressful life as a 30-something marketing executive in Boston. But fate, or maybe destiny, had other plans. My connecting flight from Dubai to Mal got cancelled due to a tropical storm. The next one, 3 days away. I stood in the airport, frustrated, anxious, alone, until a woman behind me smiled and said, "If you want something unforgettable, try India." I laughed. "India?" She just nodded. "You'll never regret it." Something in her voice, something calm and mysterious, made me check the next flight out. It was cheap. It was impulsive. It was ridiculous. But within 3 hours, I was boarding a plane to New Delhi, a country I had never planned to visit. I thought I was making a detour. Instead, I walked straight into the most beautiful chaos I've ever known. This is the story of how I found flavor, kindness, and truth on the dusty, delicious streets of India. I landed with low expectations and high anxiety. New Delhi, I told myself, was just a temporary layover, something to kill time before paradise. But the moment I stepped outside the airport, I was hit with a wall of sensation. Heat, honking, color, scent. Everything was loud: the cars, the people, even the wind. I climbed into a rickshaw, heart pounding. "What is this place?" I whispered. My hotel was tucked between two alleyways. I was too scared to walk alone. Dogs barked. Children played barefoot. Vendors yelled out prices for things I couldn't recognize. I locked myself in my room and ordered room service. No way was I going outside. But the next morning, hunger pushed me out. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to eat anything unsafe. Yet there I was, walking the streets of Old Delhi with a growling stomach and wide eyes. Then I saw the crowd gathered around a tiny metal cart. Steam rose like a halo from it. A man in a red shirt shouted, "Pani Puri, fresh, only 5 rupees." I paused. The food was served with bare hands. No gloves. No fancy presentation. Every cell in my American brain screamed, "Don't do it." And then a hand touched my elbow. An old woman, dressed in a sari as bright as a summer morning, smiled at me. "You try," she said gently. "One bite. Your heart will smile." I don't know why, but I said yes. He handed me a round, crispy shell filled with flavored water and mashed potatoes. I put it in my mouth and suddenly I understood. Sweet, spicy, cold, crunchy. My senses exploded. I laughed. The woman laughed. The vendor laughed. And I finally exhaled. After that moment, everything changed. I wasn't in India anymore. I was with India. I stopped avoiding the street food and started chasing it. Aloo tikki, spicy, fried, and topped with tangy tamarind chutney. Dal puri, puffed rice mixed with veggies and sauces in a symphony of flavor. Samosas that crackled when you broke them open. Chai served in tiny clay cups that burned your fingers but warmed your soul. Each meal came with a smile, a story, a lesson. I met Anil, who had been selling chole bhature for 22 years. He said, "Food is prayer here. We feed strangers as family." There was a kindness here, unspoken but everywhere. People offered me food from their own plates. They taught me how to eat with my hands. They watched my face light up after every bite and beamed with pride. I used to think street food was unsafe. Now I know it's sacred. Every dish had a history. Every vendor had a dream. Every flavor had a heartbeat. In America, we chase fast food. In India, food chases connection. Food was the beginning, but it was the people who made me stay. In Agra, I sat alone watching the Taj Mahal as the sun dipped behind its marble curves. A local girl sat next to me and asked in broken English, "Are you happy?" I hesitated. "I don't know," I replied. She gave me her bracelet. "For happiness," she said. Then she ran off, barefoot and laughing. I held that bracelet like a lifeline. In Jaipur, a family invited me to their cousin's wedding. I had never met them before, didn't even know their last names. But for 3 days, I was their sister. I danced under fireworks. I wore a sari, I ate with 300 strangers who treated me like I belonged, and when I cried during the farewell, the bride hugged me and said, "You are not tourists. You are now one of us." In Varanasi, I sat by the Ganges. The fire of the evening already danced across the river like gold. Someone handed me a diya and said, "For your ancestors." I released it into the water, and for the first time in years, I felt connected to something bigger than myself. Before India, I controlled everything: schedules, meetings, expectations. I built walls to protect myself. But India doesn't let you stay untouched. It breaks your walls, not violently but with relentless warmth. I got lost in the markets, but someone always guided me back. I got sick once from overeating jalebi, and the hostel cook made me soup and prayed for me. A stranger gave me his umbrella in Mumbai during a monsoon. A little boy shared his biscuit because I looked tired. I stopped wearing makeup. I stopped checking my phone. I stopped pretending I had all the answers. Instead, I listened. I watched. I felt. I danced in the rain. I sang with women on trains. I watched the sunrise in Rishikesh with monks and tourists and cows and birds, and I cried. Because for the first time in a very, very long time, I felt free. There was a moment that still haunts me in a good way. I was walking through a village in Kerala. I had no itinerary. I just wandered. I passed a small school where kids were sitting outside on mats, learning English. One girl waved at me and shouted, "Hello." The teacher invited me to sit in. I did. She asked me to read a short story to the class. As I read, the kids leaned in, wide-eyed and giggling at my accent. When I finished, they clapped. Not because it was perfect, it wasn't. They clapped because I tried. Later, one of the little boys drew me a picture, a house, a sun, and me, standing with them, smiling. He handed it to me and whispered, "Don't forget us." I keep that drawing in my wallet now. Not as a souvenir, but as a reminder of what truly matters. Not titles, not passports, but presence. Another time in Pushkar, I met a man who had been walking barefoot for weeks on a spiritual pilgrimage. I asked him, "Don't your feet hurt?" He looked at me and smiled. Pain in the feet, but peace in the heart. And suddenly, all my little complaints, the lack of AC, the spicy food, the missed comforts of home, felt silly. These weren't just chance encounters. They were lessons gifted freely by people who had no idea how much I needed them. Every time I thought I had figured India out, it surprised me again. With a view, a story, a stranger's kindness. India didn't just feed my body, it nourished my soul. It cracked me open and filled the empty spaces I didn't even know existed. Before I came, I used to say, I need a break from life, but maybe what I really needed was to be reminded how to live. I never made it to the Maldives, and I no longer care, because India gave me something no beach ever could. It gave me myself. It gave me flavor. It gave me connection. It gave me meaning. Now, when I'm back home in Boston, I still eat with my hands sometimes. I drink masala chai every morning. I wear the bracelet from the girl at the Taj Mahal and whisper, "Yes, I am happy." And to the woman in Dubai airport who said, "Try India. If you're out there, thank you. You nudged me into a detour that changed everything." And to India, thank you for the mess, the noise, the heat. Thank you for the food, the strangers, the tears. Thank you for the home I didn't know I was missing.